Hey guys, Kid here of Burn One, joined with Dean up above me. All right,
What's going on, my Shadowverse masters?
we're here. This is gonna be our little I guess are we gonna do this weekly? I think, or we're gonna try to at least, right?
Weekly or bi-weekly?
Something
We'll
like
get them
that.
out. We'll get them out.
Yeah, we'll get them out when they're out. This is gonna be kind of like our little podcasting. We're gonna spend every week or other week. We'll just talk about things happening news wise and like in the community, and also like our own experiences with our local scene and things like that. And anything else we want to talk about Shadowverse Evolve related here. And I guess like maybe we'll get on tangents some other things. Um, but yeah, I mean, so first things first is I'm sure a lot of people are not very familiar with either of us. I know in the Weiss community, a lot of people know us from playing in a lot of events and topping a lot of events in the Weiss Schwartz game. So I guess we'll just kind of talk about our card game backgrounds each before we jump into all the news so people can kind of get to know us. I guess I'll go first. So obviously I'm Kit. I've been playing so I played Weiss Schwartz super competitively for like the last 10, 11, 12 years or so. I forget the exact date I started. I know it was probably like in 2011. I've been playing that super competitively ever since I picked it up. Love the game. Won a lot of regionals and team events and stuff like that with Dean on my team, and also been to Worlds, competed for that, as well as was a commentator at Worlds in 2018, I think it was, or
Yeah,
2019.
18.
Yeah. And so I worked with BushiNavi for that. Now I'm getting to Shadowverse Evolve. I did play the digital card game a bunch. I played it for like I think the first like 3 or 4 expansions or so, then quit, then came back later when Dean convinced me. I think during COVID, and then I just grinded out to GM in rotation, and then quit the game again. And then I come back occasionally to get the free packs and maybe like run some unlimited games occasionally in
That's really rough.
yeah, and just like lose to the most broken stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, it was turn 3 and I just died. I didn't know this, but yeah, that's most of my card game background. I've played other card games here and there, like Pokemon, Magic, and stuff like that. Magic a little bit competitively, but not really, because back when I got into Magic, I was really poor and couldn't afford cards, and we all know how expensive mana bases can be in Magic. But yeah, I think that kind of sums up my card game experience. What about you, Dean?
Yeah, so I started card games probably in 2012, actually like taking them seriously. I started with Yu-Gi-Oh for the first 4 years and really built my foundation of deck building knowledge and just like, card economy and how games work through playing a lot of Rogue and also self-building decks there. And then when I moved over to Weiss Schwartz in 2016, where I met Kit, it was I brought a lot of that experience over, and it helped me become like a player who I say I've talked with a lot of different jank, like right, like I've come in and definitely like used knowledge from other card games and use like other card games like thought processes to be able to like craft things that people weren't always expecting. But yeah, I have multiple tops along with Kit. I think combined it, what is it? It's like close to 15 top eights
Something
almost,
like that,
right?
yeah, for
It's
sure.
something crazy.
It's a
Um,
definitely almost like 20 at this point, but yeah.
I know that we have 8 combined top threes, 6 on teams. You have 7 on teams, and I have 1 in singles, and you have 1 in singles for the most recent couple of years. Oh wait,
Oh
we have more
yeah.
additional. Well,
I have a few
no,
other
top threes.
yeah, I have a few others in singles, but they were much older. It was
Yeah,
like I
much
quit
older,
Weiss
much
for a
older.
while and then came back, but yeah.
And then yeah, I've been playing Shadowverse since actually since like whatever set 2 was, Darkness Evolved. I picked it up, played it super casually until like the lockdowns happened, and during the lockdowns, I really said, what if I try to take this game a little more seriously? Now, to give you guys an idea, my Steam library says I have 3,250 hours played, and that's not AFK time. That is most definitely not AFK time. So I have been a longtime fan of the game, and now that Evolve is coming, I'm looking to bring everything I've had in those other games and bring it all here to the table in this game. So
Yeah, I remember Dean got us to all like play Shadowverse during lockdowns, and then we entered some events right
I'm a huge
online.
fan.
That was a
Yeah,
lot of
there's
fun.
like monthly events for the digital and stuff. I'm looking to try to start doing that more. Definitely trying to up my presence in the digital community as well. Yeah, I'm just like super excited for this game that I've been playing to make this one like the main game now.
Man, my cat just wants attention right now. For as soon as he knows we're recording, she needs attention. All right. I think that kind of wraps it up. So I guess first thing we're going to talk about here is our release weekend experience. I guess Dean, yours is going to be a little shorter than mine. So if you want to
Mine will be
talk about
fun.
yours first.
Oh, so I have 2 shops in my town that we're going to carry product. One shop is having some internal issues, and the other shop missed that pre-order window. And because they missed that pre-order window, they're on like the second wave from the distributor, which means that we just did not get product this week. Uh, Very unfortunate. It sounds like they're going to get it this week sometime. Like maybe I don't know if it was by Friday or by next Friday. But pretty much we failed to actually get stuff off the ground for the first week, but we're definitely going to be hitting the ground next week.
Yeah, I know this entire weekend anyway was like 4th of July weekend, and a lot of stores were either like doing their own thing or a lot of families and stuff probably going out. So not as many people in the card shops as you'd like. So hopefully your scene gets picked up. Pick up more.
We've got a lot. We've got a lot of people.
All right. As for me, I traveled to a few different shops. So I used to live in the Midwest for a while for work, and then I moved back to Southern California. And if you're familiar with Bushiroad games, or at least games that are managed by Bushiroad, like if you don't live in a Bushiroad hotspot, it's very rough for you to like find really good communities. Luckily, I'm in Southern California. It's probably one of the biggest Bushiroad hotspots there is. I think the other ones are like there's like Houston, Texas area.
Any major metropolitan.
Yeah, most of the major cities have it. Any place there is a regional for Bushiroad, that usually means there's a lot of stores in that area that do
Except
carry.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta is really weird, but yeah. I think a lot of the people who go to the Atlanta regional actually come from out of state, like Florida and Alabama and stuff like that. But yeah, so since I'm super like blessed to be back in Southern California again, and so I was able to travel to like 3 or 4 shops here. Every shop I went to either was basically sold out of all the starter decks, which is a really good sign, or they're like about to sell out, which was good to see. And a lot of the stores I walked into had almost everyone there trying Shadowverse Evolve, or they were buying box after box after box to build decks and stuff like that. So I think like the forecast, at least for me here, it looks like a good sign. If people stick with it, we're gonna have a lot of competition in Southern California, which is going to be a lot of fun. So I'll be able to record and do a lot of cool stuff here, and which makes me really happy. And there's a lot of like weekly events happening. So they're like I almost want to say every day of the week there's a shop running some kind of event for Shadowverse Evolve. That'll probably die down a lot, especially as time goes on. The only rough part this weekend is Anime Expo. If you guys know about that, it was happening the same weekend as the release of Shadowverse Evolve, which is like a double-edged sword because they're out there advertising a ton for Shadowverse Evolve. So we're definitely going to pick up a lot of new players and people who are interested in the game, especially if they've come from other side game properties, right? So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But some of the stores I did go to that either had all their products sold out and stuff didn't have a lot of players there, because literally like everyone was at Anime Expo this weekend for the most part. If you live in Southern California and you're an anime nerd, you're probably going to AX, even though it's crowded and it's super expensive now. But yeah, that's I'm really excited for like how the community is going and moving forward, and how like all the stores I went to just seem to be doing very well and really liking Shadowverse Evolve, which makes me really excited, and hopefully everyone else kind of gets that experience too eventually.
Oh, I did want to mention what you were saying about people being gone. That was actually also the other problem I had with this launch day weekend. I went to NAIC for Pokemon, so it was a little awkward that they fell on the same day.
Yeah, it's the release weekend being like 4th of July. It just seems like a double-edged sword because I'm sure a lot of people and a lot of events planned around 4th of July. So there's definitely not going to be as many people as you probably normally have at locals for card shops and stuff. But I mean, the following weeks and the following months or so, we'll definitely see what happens here with how the game grows and the community grows. But in my opinion, it's looking really good, which makes me really happy.
Yeah, all right. And I think though we can kind of segue into something that's a little. I don't know if it's. Would we say it's positive? I guess we can mention what has happened.
Yeah.
So. Right, my store missed getting product, and I don't like to buy online. I'd rather buy somewhere within the nearest like 50 miles or so. So I open up the BushiNavi where they tell you all the stores. I think I have trouble getting it to work on my phone. I think it's easier on the website to pull up all the stores in your state.
Oh, for me, it works fine on my phone, so I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm saying because on the computer, or what was it on the computer, it has trouble because it doesn't know your location. Thinking that's the one it might be. Regardless, I pull up the list of stores and I start clicking on the maps and calling them. And every store listed as Shadowverse didn't carry Shadowverse. And I'm guessing, what I'm told at least, is that on the BushiNavi, you might want to call the store to make sure that the stores listed as Shadowverse stores do carry Shadowverse. I think it's supposed to be a way to help stores know that there's like interest in the game around them. So they're just listed as Shadowverse stores even if they don't carry it. But it's also a little bit awkward when I was like, man, I want starter decks like today, right? I'm sitting there just calling store. I called like 8 stores and none of them.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, this is kind of this happens a lot in Bushiroad, like Bushiroad USA and stuff like that. I don't know how Europe handles it or anything like that, but I know in USA, like the office is very limited on resources. They don't have a lot of employees and things like that, and so I don't know if this was kind of planned by them or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe this will be, like Dean said, like maybe this will work out for the better. But it seems really weird. But every store that is a Bushiroad store before automatically got put into the Shadowverse Evolve like circuit as well, like Dean was saying. So I don't know if that was like to create some kind of create those people who are interested in the game to be like, hey, are you guys gonna have Shadowverse? So like the store owners realize that like, oh, I have players that want to like play this, have people calling, so maybe I should hold this product, right? I don't know if that was their game plan. Maybe it was, but it seems very risky of a play in my opinion.
It was a
ahead.
little awkward. It was just awkward. Like, I keep calling the stores and I'm like, hey, and they're like, no. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, I'm lucky and I'm in Southern California right now, and every store I went to basically either already had plans to hold Shadowverse events or had product there, so I didn't run into that much. Dean ran into it, and then a couple of our other friends in other states ran into it, where they like called some stores or showed up at some stores and they didn't even know that they were in the list of things. So definitely this is a warning. Make sure to call the stores before you show up, especially if you're looking to play in their events. Because I know you can sign up for events through the BushiNavi app, right? And I honestly, I should have asked like some of the store owners about that. I don't even know if they're like actually checking the signups and stuff, because when I look at the app for the Southern California area, you can see that people have signed up for weekly events, what ones they're going to go to and stuff. So I'm not sure if store owners even know that is a thing or not, but I guess we'll find out in the next coming weeks. It's just a really weird thing, but yeah, who knows? This might be like what's the saying? A silver lining, right? Like a randomly generate buzz for stores that don't even know it's there.
I mean, because like if the store even gets product in the shop, I think this is the type of game that if people touch it, people will get excited.
Yeah, me too.
It definitely is like, it's a well-made game.
Yeah, it plays like a lot of other fun games that people enjoy. It's like one of the non-side game related games that people always say it plays like is Hearthstone. Like it's almost like a physical version of Hearthstone, except now you have like some ability to respond to your opponent a little bit. Not too much, but you can, which is, creates a little bit more dynamic skill gap, I guess, between players and things like that, which is cool. But that just kind of brings us into our next topic here, which is the championship program, I believe. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I have it here on the site here for you guys. So if you've been dialed in for the tournament circuit, you'll notice, I think on Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff, a lot of people are kind of complaining about this. And right now, I've heard that like this might be some mistranslations going on here, and they just wrote the wrong thing down, and maybe it'll get corrected later. But generally, the championship series for Shadowverse Evolve is like a once a month tournament at stores that stores can hold to get special promos. So you see down here, it has all the information, and they don't have a schedule out yet because stores aren't technically signed up yet, I guess. But even in the BushiNavi system, it said some stores had some already, and like we called some of those stores, and they're like, we don't know why that's in there. We're not hosting a championship thing yet. So yeah, but for every season, there's going to be promos you can get. They're usually like super foiled and out, kind of like the shatter foils like you can get in the boxes. So there's a participation promo here is the Quick Blader, And then if you top 8, you get Shapeshifting Mage. And then there's like if you top 8, then the winner gets 2 extra, I believe, so they can get a play set. Oh no, the top 8. Oh yeah. So yeah, here it depends. There's 2 different circuits. I'm sorry. There's Showdown, and which the top 8 will receive this promo, and then Circuit, which is I guess is supposed to be the more tougher one to win, which is the top 8 players will receive 2 of the promos upon reaching like top 8 of the finals or whatever. And then the champion of that will get a Path of Purgatory promo that'll be all shatterfoiled out and everything. Then this is just the information on the organized play and eligibility. And then down here it has the information if you want to sign up or for the events and stuff. This tells you how. But the big thing people were looking at down here is for each circuit or the circuit and showdown. I'll just open these up right here. So this is the big thing that people have been crying about. And this is what I heard might be a translation error on their part. And it was like greenlit to go. But specifically for what is this? I think this is the championship one, right? Oh yeah, this is the showdown, championship showdown. So supposedly there's a minimum of 32 participants to run this event.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, and
I think your store has to be able to hold 32 people.
Yeah, so we've been getting a lot of different like whispers about this. If this was like a mistranslation, it's not like minimum 32, it's actually a maximum of 32. It might even just be, like Dean said, that your store just has to be able to hold 32 players minimum to be able to run these events. But the tournament format is just like the normal thing. The other thing that's really interesting, and I didn't think there would be as much of an outcry, but I guess this is kind of true because the way Japan plays card games, almost every game they play is best of one. And so going into this, I already assumed for the most part, unless it's like a world tournament or something, it's going to be best of one. So they're going to have a Swiss with a single elimination bracket in top 8, but the format itself is best of one, individual best of one here. A lot of people were crying about the best of one format and how like it being best of one was going to kill the game. What are your thoughts on that, Dean?
Man, I just got back from a Pokemon tournament. I'm not going to use swear words. Best of 3 has a lot of inherent problems. I understand. I want best of 3 myself at like a truly competitive level. But is this the local one or is this the like the?
This is the shop like championship one. So this isn't even at regionals. This is just for the shops.
So this is the one just for the shops.
Yeah.
So, but is this the one that you get the points based off of like multiple of them, or is this the one that you just get the single tournament?
So the problem here is they're not very clear on exactly everything. Okay. But my assumption right now, this is the one you gain points in to be able to get to a regional.
Points over a long system, like a long tournament thing, like multiple events, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Best of 1 only rears its ugly head in like longer tournaments. Like in like bigger stake tournaments. I think when it's like, come to locals, we're gonna track your points over 3 months. Best of 1 is fine. I don't know. Best of 3. The problem is, I feel like at least with a game like Shadowverse, you want to have like a 2-deck. Like you want to have like the 2-deck conquest.
Yeah.
Usually, if you're doing best 2 out of 3, because like sideboard doesn't really work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like kind of restrictive, right? If you say, hey, we're gonna have 2-deck conquest at locals, maybe the people showing up with the locals don't want to, buy 2 decks, and that's understandable. It's expensive to get into card game. Bellringer Angels are a little expensive on TCG player. Maybe you don't want to own 2 decks. It's fine. I understand. Best of 1 though, I think it's fine. A lot of games get away with it. At the higher end tournaments, since we're already restricting the player base, I want to see best 2 out of 3, and I want to see rounds that allow it, like round lengths that allow it.
Yeah.
And a tournament policy that also doesn't allow for whatever Pokemon has with ties. I'm sorry. That's just something like my eyes were open this weekend to a new world.
It's hilarious.
I think the best of 1 is fine. Especially at a local level.
Yeah,
like you show up to locals and you're locked into a deck. Sometimes it feels bad.
You just want to leave as soon as possible.
Well, sometimes you just want to change decks. You're like, and it wins best 2 out of 3. That's 3 times the games on that deck. Maybe you queued up with I don't know, some like aggro sword deck playing 21 drops, and you go, oh no, maybe that's a few too many.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm basically in agreement with you. I do think at the local level, best of one is totally fine. Stores have a limited amount of time they can actually hold these events, and if they get a substantial amount of players, they're going to have to run like 5 to 6 rounds. If every round is like 50 minutes long to sustain a best of three, then that's a really long day event, and most people just want to show up, be there for about 4 hours at most, and just get the hell out afterwards, right? Especially if they're only there to play and they don't think they're going to win the event. Yeah, so I think best of one is totally fine at the local level. I would like to see best 2 out of 3, especially when you start hitting like the regional and higher levels. Maybe I don't know if they're gonna. I guess it depends what they do. But since it's like Dean said, it's such a limited pool of players at that point. You definitely want make sure best player always makes it. And 2 out of 3 kind of eliminates a little bit of the luck factor when it comes to card games. Occasionally, if someone just randomly draws a nuts and you draw a dead hand, and you just like gotta eat aggro and you die on turn 5, at least you have another chance to like outplay the aggro player and hopefully not open up garbage, and your opponent doesn't open up the nuts 2 more times. Essentially, I think that in that case it's okay. But yeah, I'm basically in line with Dean here. Local level, this is probably totally fine. I think maybe people are being a little bit too exaggerated on like a best of one literally killing the community and no one will ever play it because it's best of one isn't competitive enough, I guess.
I never understood where that came from. There's like other games that have best of one formats that have like done fine. Like I think Digimon and One Piece and all of those are huge games. Best of one.
Oh, those are best of one too. I never researched.
Yeah, because I know some people have been like pretty cursed.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like something you gotta like accept sometimes, unless like the community does come together and convinces the company to change the rules. But almost all Japanese card games are always best of one. I think Pokemon is one of the unique ones where in Japan it's still best of one, but in America or North America and outside of Japan, it's 2 out of 3, right? And then in the top 8, I think it's like 3 out of 5 or something.
For which one?
For Pokemon. Pokemon, yeah.
Pokemon's best 2 out of 3 only in like North America.
Yeah, and what about
Europe?
What about Yu-Gi-Oh? Is Yu-Gi-Oh the same thing? 2 out of 3?
Yu-Gi-Oh's best 2 out of 3. I think Yu-Gi-Oh's best 2 out of 3 in all countries because they have the sideboard.
Oh, okay,
Pokemon doesn't have a sideboard, and I think it's like a newer thing too. I don't think the Pokemon had best of 3 until like 20. I know I heard that in 2013 it was best of 1. That's all I know. So yeah, I think that's like a newer thing, like 2016 or maybe 17 is when they got best 2 out of 3.
Okay, yeah, I didn't follow Pokemon too closely because I only mostly played it when I was younger, and then when I got back into it, I only played it for about a year or less, and like I went to like 2 events, and I was like, okay, I'm done playing this game. But for other reasons, yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how the community like ends up either accepting this or like really try to fight with Bushiroad and side games to make a change. It's something that's really funny about this too, I think, is Dean and I joked a lot, especially early on when they just barely announced English was coming, that like, don't worry, if Bushiroad really messes up, Side Games is opening an office in North America and Europe, so they'll just take it away from Bushiroad and then fix everything themselves if Bushiroad can't run the events properly, right? So it was really funny seeing on Twitter like multiple people tagging Side Games, telling them like to get in there and fix it. So it'll be interesting to see that dynamic, especially when Side Games ends up filling out their offices here and really like have their headquarters in North America set up and everything, to see if anything does end up changing with this. But yeah, I think if you're really upset about best of one, go ahead at Side Games at Bushiroad. Maybe enough outcry will get them to change the ruling. But personally, it's either way for me is fine, honestly. But at least at regional or higher, I hope it's 2 out of 3. That's about it.
Regionals, when there's like more on the line, there's like local things. It's like whatever. But when it's like, oh man, you win this, like, here's your trip to Japan. I want best 2 out of 3. I want to remove as much variance as possible. So
yeah, for sure. Then the last, so this will be interesting to see what actually ends up being. If it actually is you need a minimum of 32 players. I feel really bad. This game is actually going to hurt early on, because I'm sure every Midwest place that all the Midwest card game slingers basically are not going to be able to like really host any of these type of events. if this is actually to be true, which is going to be really rough because
That I'm pretty sure that means you need to be able to minimum seat 32.
yeah, I believe it's going to be something like that, right? That would
Because
make
I think
the most
otherwise
sense.
the problem is you get like whatever curse things happen in Weiss where you have like shop challenges in these stores that can only seat like 10 players.
Or you have like
Like
Europe, like 12 team tournament, cut to top 8.
yeah. Oh my, that was Singapore. It was Singapore. Was it an 11
Oh no,
team?
no, it was Singapore.
It
You're
was
right.
like something. It was like something unbelievable. Where it was like really rough, but that's a different card game, so people might not know
Yeah,
about that one.
yeah. But yeah,
That's
so
an
I'm
obscure
sure
card.
we'll get some more information from Bushiroad soon. Like, I think they've been like oddly drip feeding us poorly when they do release these things, because every time they've released new information, it's not it's like answered one question for us, but like created 10 new questions that we need answered to figure out like the viability of this game going forward, which is rough. Last thing I just will touch on the championship circuit here. So on this one, the tournament rules on this, like, the tournament must consist of at least 4 shop qualifiers, followed by separate held grand finals. And then each shop qualifier must be held in a different shop. And then shop qualifiers may be held either entirely in Swiss format or in 2 stages: a Swiss stage by single elimination with the top 8 players. And then top 8 of the grand final shall be held in a single elimination format. Should there be more than 8 players in the grand final? How can there be? Oh, okay. How this sentence makes no sense. 8 players in the grand final. Okay, whatever. There shall be Swiss stages to determine the top 8. This other part here is each shop qualifier must have a minimum of 16 participants. Once again, this is a very weird wording. We don't know if this is translated incorrectly or this is actually what they're asking for, that these qualifiers require a minimum of 16 players. So some of like the smaller towns and stuff, if this is to be true, just like the other one, will struggle to get to the minimum 16.
The tournament must consist of at least 4 shop qualifiers followed by separately held grand finals. Qualifier must be held in a different shop.
So see what I mean? Like they say they put this
Well,
stuff
okay,
out there.
wait. So I think that the idea here should be held in a Swiss format or in 2 stages, Swiss stage followed by single elimination of top 8 players. The top 8 of the grand finals shall be held in a single eliminations format. Should there be more than 8 players in the grand final? I think that means if there's like a tie, right? I think that means that people don't bubble.
Oh, okay.
I think that means that if there's like a top 8 and you have like an undefeated, that you're like, hey, yeah, you guys in the bubble, fight.
Oh, I might have made a mistake. This one, the championship circuit, this is the one where you get points, because that would make the most sense with this rulings, right? You'd have to go to different shops, win those shops, and get points to be able to get to the grand final stage of this.
Must have 16 participants. But does it? Does that mean that like? Does that mean that it's going to be like only major metropolitan? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that. That seems wrong. But like, we'll see.
Yeah. Also, like, the people who might have crafted this rule set and okayed it, like, if you have been following Japan's release of Shadowverse Evolve, they love this game. Like, it blew up crazy. Like, we're getting events over there that are like 3,000 plus players, right? Is that right, Dean? I forget. What was that really big event?
It's around like 1,900.
Yeah, around 1,900 players, 2,000 players at like their major events. So like, they might have assumed that all stores everywhere else will be kind of the same thing. The game will explode, and like, you can easily hit these 16 and 32 player caps.
I think that with the way the game works, that is very doable for us. I don't know if that's like first couple months doable. That's like the big question. It really does depend on your area. There's places this won't be a problem for, and there's definitely places this will be. But
absolutely, yeah.
I don't know if this is. Maybe it's just because, like, right, we played Weiss. Maybe it's because we played Weiss, and the idea of getting 8 people in a shop, it's like, that would have to be people from all over the state. Like, right? It's like,
yeah. That might be, like, coloring this different. But, I mean, other people are also kind of, like, in the same boat. They're like, oh, this is going to kill the game. There's going to be no tournament scene. There's going to be no competitive scene because not a lot of places are going to...
Like, I don't know. I think the thing is like, I think that if marketed correctly, this is at least. I think this is going to have like a large enough player base so that these actual restrictions aren't like real problems.
I can see that within like six months to a year, this could easily happen with like I want to say like maybe half of the shops, like especially if you're in a big area, it picks up and everything like that. Because like some of these numbers, I can see it easily hitting in California only because it's California and it's like the biggest Bushiroad like hub in like North America. And maybe a couple other ones like Chicago and Texas and stuff will be able to hit it in New Jersey or like New York area. But I think outside of that, it starts becoming really rough, right?
So I think you have a qualifier there, and you say Bushiro. This is like not really a Bushiro game. It's a little bit better than Bushiro games.
Yeah.
So that's like definitely a thing. But I'm just thinking right now about like the numbers we have, and it's like, okay, Yu-Gi-Oh pushes 20 players on a weekly basis, and then if we have a case tournament, our shop in middle of nowhere gets 50 players, complete max capacity, with like other people wanting to come in. Same thing with like Pokemon. We can get like 12 players for a game that normally people don't even have a locals for. 12 players on a weekly basis, and then if there's like a bigger event, we can push well over 30. So it's like I think these numbers are doable even in small areas as long as you have like a player scene. And I think the idea is like, do you want, when you have these like filtered regionals, when you have like this filtered competitive circuit, do you want the thing that happens in Weiss where I show up to a place for a 5-round tournament and then I get to go to nationals because I won the regional at the 5-man regional? Like I think it's kind of supposed to be a filter for that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it'll be really interesting to see how this ends up playing out, right? Because this is definitely something where it's going to take more time to develop like a full scene like that, right? Because like the games you're all mentioning are ones that are like big. Already
Force
have
of Will
big
was
names
pretty big right off the bat too.
Yeah, I played that game for a while too. That was actual pain. Like bubbled 2 times at a regional, and I was like, I never want to play this game again.
We used to have like 20-man locals here in the middle of nowhere.
Holy crap! Damn, yeah, that's crazy. Most of the locals I went in California for it were about the same size, actually. I think. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as popping off for Force of Will, but at that time too, I was like way more into Weiss, so maybe I wasn't paying enough attention.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just hopeful that we can meet that. I'm just hopeful that we can meet that, and that that's not going to become a problem.
Yeah, me too.
Positivity.
Exactly. All right. I think that kind of sums up that. That can just let us segue into, I believe, our last talk here, and we'll just kind of go over. I've opened up TCG Player here, kind of looking at the market value of cards right now.
That Loon is so cheap.
Yeah. So like. Have you been like watching any of these prices recently, Dean, at all, or have you just been like chilling?
I've been looking at it a little bit because I'm eyeing up that card down there, $59. I want that leader.
Oh, right, Erasmus.
I guess I say it wrong. Never mind.
I don't know. I think I'm saying it wrong. Erasmus. How do you say it?
I say Erasmus, but it's not wait, it is
Erasmus. It is probably Erasmus. I don't know. I'm just bad. I can't speak. I don't know how to read. I play card games, so no English.
It's like some European name.
Yeah.
Bell ringers were definitely undervalued for a while. I'm in a little bit of pain because I need 3 Shatterfoil bell ringers. If my case had gotten here earlier, I would have jumped on them earlier to know how many I need.
It's okay. You'll get one, and then you'll get mine, and then you'll have to buy one more. I'll just get the other one from Ellis.
Yeah, I knew. I think he probably wants the premiums as well. Premiums, sorry, they're not Shatterfoils. They look like Shatterfoils from Yu-Gi-Oh! So.
Oh yeah. I wasn't really sure what they're called too, because like here, like you said, it's marked as premium. Oh, you can't even see it here because I have it cut off on the edge.
The rarity, yeah.
Yeah, but the rarity filter on the side says premium, so I guess that's what they're called in English. But yeah, so kind of looking at the prices.
Kind of stonks at the moment.
Yeah, right now, like the store. So when I was at one of the stores, I think it was called Top Spot Cards or something like that. One of the locals I'll be going to regularly. They were opening multiple cases then because they were trying to fulfill orders on TCG Player, as well as like all the players in store were like asking if they had singles, and they were cracking multiple cases. So that's like already a really good sign, right? A lot of people chasing after this little bell ringer angel here. Currently sitting at 2180. What I think right at the start they were selling for like $10 or even cheaper, maybe, right?
I mean, you can scroll down, right? Let's see.
Let's see the history. Does it go all the way back? Load more cells. Load more cells. Oh my god.
It's a lot of sales.
There we go. So yeah. Oh yeah. See, so some of them, dude. These people down here who fucking
Stonks.
yeah, they sniped these and got their play sets for $4.99 each. They're very happy. These people also probably very happy. This person here buying 2 play sets. All right. But yeah, so it kind of jumped up to where I figured it was going to end up stabilizing at, which is around $15. But
where it's at in Japanese.
Yeah.
So.
I think this is after enough people start opening up enough product and more people are getting their play sets. This is probably going to drop down to around $15-ish, I'm going to guess, because it's about where it is in JP, I think, right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like one of the only. That's not true. A lot of cards in this set. This is like a good set to have because there's like a lot of search cards and there's a couple power play cards. Like Merlin is going to be good for Rune for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Able to tutor any spell. Very fantastic card.
Forte, same thing. It's going to be super viable in Dragon for a long time.
Cerberus, fantastic. Yeah. Like just extremely strong tempo play. Kind of generic. It's going to go into a lot of lists. You can always slot it in. Mm-hmm. But then of course we have cards that are like only good for now that are going to demand a little bit of meta price. You're going to pay for it because it's going to go down. Lucifer.
Yeah, Lucifer is one where I think like after the first set, it sees a lot less play, and then by set 3, it's just gone, right? Basically.
Yeah, it's like not even. I don't even think it's played in set 2 usually.
Yeah, like maybe you'll see it around, but right
Jean,
now,
fantastic card.
Yeah, that card's another long time staple, right?
And then you know what? Let's just be honest. Leaders, you need leaders. You got to have that. What's that card? Voice line.
Oh, what was it?
What card is that?
Oh yeah, what's Roland? Yeah,
Roland.
He has a line that just says, "What card is that?" You can spam on your phone every time someone plays something. But yeah, like Dean said, though, this is a very good. Like this is such a good first set because it just like sets you up so well for the future of the game since there's just so many playables for the foreseeable future in this set, right?
Yeah, definitely. And prices, I think they're a little bit high right now in some of those, especially on foils.
Yeah,
I think that some of those will go down, but then also some of the foils I think are maybe a little bit cheaper than what I expected.
Oh, like
it might
which
just have
one?
to do with the pull rate.
It might be, yeah. I also heard, or I guess we've seen some people were like opening like 3 liters in a case, and I saw someone open up. I think it was in the Discord. They said they got like 2 ultra rares or whatever they're called in this game in one pack. They said, I think, which was really weird, and they were and they were the same like one. So there must have been some kind of error when packing those packs.
I can't believe my case is missing URs now and leaders.
Probably. Oh my god. But yeah, like this price here makes me very sad for wanting to get Fortes. 175 right now.
Yeah, that's about right. I think that's about right.
Yeah, you think it's gonna hold though?
I mean, I bought mine for $15K on release in Japanese because I own a Japanese copy.
Yeah,
and it is worth $15K today. So
it'll probably hold. Yeah,
it'll probably hold. Yeah.
All right.
Otohime, a lot of the other U's kind of aren't playable after this set, and some of them aren't even playable in this set, like Gabriel.
Yeah, don't say that. I have one. Gabriel's I have to get a move. No,
I think she's okay. I think
she's an okay card.
She's good in Sword.
Yeah, she's broken. Someone buy mine anyway. Yeah, I think that kind of sums up like the market. I think overall there's no prices I'm like super shocked by. You know, some stuff is a little higher than right now because the hype.
Juno's $33.
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm gonna be playing Dirt Rune with Juno now.
All right, I have a Juno for sale by the way.
I'll buy it.
All right.
My poverty leader Erasmus.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that kind of sums up all the card prices. I think there's nothing to stand out where you're like, holy crap. But yeah. But Zenitra, right? Oh, is that how you say? Yeah, Zenitra? It looks like she's like the big leader hit. And JP Luna is the one. This is still like over $200 in JP, right? I think.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess why, aggro, like right, the game had just
Mhm.
came out. Nobody had like any idea what was super good, and like people were just playing, and just aggro abyss is such an easy list to slam together.
Mhm.
And the dragon lists were not refined enough to like completely cripple the aggro decks.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of the fact that like we don't value what Luna is as much as the Japanese, and
Yeah.
then also we Dragon quickly became like known as like the better class.
Yeah. I guess we have
Actually, Haven's the better class, but
secretly. Don't tell anyone yet, though. Shh. But I mean, yeah. Since we get to like see into the future, basically, because Japan's about a year ahead of us, so we kind of knew what their metas like were shaping up to be. So we already had a good idea of like what the best deck in the format was leading into the booster one. So it'll be interesting as things move on, see what
I
happens.
also need to get Urias. Urias is hype.
Oh yes, he is. Oh my god, I think so. I think there was one for like $60 on here. Now I gotta check. Someone, no, was it? There's no way. Oh, there was only two. I thought I saw one up here for like $60, and I was like consider buying it, but oh, I guess it's gone. All right, I think that kind of sums up that. We're gonna do this one last fun segment that Dean would not let me. Dean would not let me end this thing without doing it. Do you want to explain it, Dean?
So this is borrowed from my favorite podcast. Those who know. Actually, I'll give them a shout out. The Uncommon Energy podcast. They do Pokemon podcasts. Everyone's favorite segment, Guess That Flavor. Every week, one of us will be reading the flavor text for a Shadowverse card. 4 points on the board for each question. And we get up to 3 lifelines. Each lifeline will take up to 1 point off. And basically, as the weeks go by, we will be competing against each other to see who can get the most points. So the first lifeline is what type of card? Is it a monster, amulet, or spell? What class the card is in? And what set the card is in. I think that's like, it's a lot of narrowing down if you use all those lifelines. But that's kind of where it's going. And because, I need to give Kit some time to like prepare himself, but we're also trying to do cards that are like only in physical, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way, people can experience the flavor text that they didn't put on the card.
Yeah, that was a weird thing they did. They just deleted the flavor text. I guess they wanted to save ink or something. I have no idea.
Well, some of these flavor texts are like a paragraph, so maybe we wouldn't have those anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I said, Kit, I'll take it first. So Kit, hit me with that flavor.
You muted yourself or something? Or
did I mute myself? Yourself? No, I didn't.
Hello?
Hello?
I cannot hear you.
What?
Oh no, technical difficulties. I guess we can't do it. Why can't I hear you? What the heck? This is so weird.
I replugged in my mic.
Today the world gets
Oh wait, my bad. It's me. Hold on. My headset shut off. Hey, hello?
Hello?
Okay, there. I didn't notice my headset shut
I'm
off.
In OBS,
that was my bad.
right? I'm in OBS this time. Okay.
Everyone heard you. Why I was like, I couldn't hear you. Oh man. Okay.
Okay. So what did we miss? We probably got it all. We probably got it all.
Yeah. Everyone could hear you. You cut out randomly near the end for me. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the one I picked. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right, so I'm just gonna read the flavor text right on. Oh yeah, so these are coming from digital, obviously, right? Because we don't have access to like the English ones.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the flavor text I got. Wow, those monsters attacked the church? They must be really bad. Come here, monsters. Let me give you a spanking.
I think I actually know this. I already know this. This is a Haven card. I don't even need that. Do I just go for it?
Go for it. I believe in you.
Okay, wait. Let me look at the lifelines again because I'm like 90% certain. I'm just gonna say this. I think it's Prison Priestess, but let me use a lifeline first just to be sure. What class is it?
What? Why do you? Okay, it's obviously. It
is actually a Haven.
It is actually Haven.
Prison Priestess.
Yeah, you got it.
I told you, dude. You thought I wouldn't. You thought I wouldn't.
I'm I need to find some really, really horrible ones for you
You
to.
thought because she has such good voice lines. Like
Oh
I'm
my
strong
God.
because I'm good.
Hold on, we got the English voice lines here. Let me play one of them.
Let me show you something.
Okay, let me show you something. Oh,
Bad,
Yeah,
bad,
let me
bad.
show you something. It's not playing for other people, I don't think.
Oh, it's
Or I guess it would
it's
be,
playing
yeah,
for
yeah.
you, just not you.
Yeah,
I'm
and
strong
she's like, I'm
because
strong
I'm
because I'm good.
You
Yeah,
did
see,
it the same
I know,
time I
dude.
did. Yeah.
I
Toodaloo.
played this card back in the day.
Oh man. Oh my God, I can't believe you got it. All right,
I'm too powerful.
you are. I hate it because Dean. For those that don't know, Dean will just roll. We'll be in Discord playing like Shadowverse with our friends or something. He'll roll in and just start saying voice lines of like cards people are playing and stuff, and just saying random shit. And we're like, Dean, why do you know this?
I don't know the flavor text for a lot of them because I haven't read them, but definitely. Well, I mean, it's the funnest part of the game.
Okay, sure.
I think it's like really what brought me in was like the voice lines. They're super corny and cheesy, and I love them.
All right. Okay, I hate you. All right, that kind of concludes our first episode of what do you want to call this?
Oh,
We need to come up with a name.
We'll get a name eventually. Trust.
Okay,
Name pending.
Name pending. All right. You know what? If some of you have suggestions, if you made it this far, drop down name suggestions below. Maybe we'll pick one. Who knows? We'll
Also,
figure out something.
For those out there that are still out there, at least, let us know. Do you want us to do this live? I think we're all willing to do this live instead of uploading this. But do people want to see that? Do people want to interact? Just let us know if you would be excited and if you guys would be willing to come.
Yeah, if we can do this live and have a live audience and have chat on screen with people screaming and telling us how dumb we are, that'd be pretty fun. So yeah, if you want us to do it live, say so below. We'll go ahead and work on doing that. I'm pretty sure I can already stream on this YouTube channel, so we'll work it from there if people actually want a live version of this. I think otherwise, that kind of concludes everything. If you made it this far, you obviously like this content for some reason. And so make sure to like, comment, subscribe so that, we can feel some love and have the motivation to keep going with this content. And what was the other thing just like follow all our social media stuff. I think in the more information below and on YouTube, we have some of our other channels for Weiss if you're interested in Weiss. Otherwise, we have a Twitter account we tweet from and interact with people on there. We'll be posting up, like whenever we win at locals or something, we'll be posting up deck lists there that we win with. Prepare to see a lot of Dragon from me because I'm probably going to be lazy and just play Dragon a lot. That or probably Havencraft. I don't know what I want to play yet.
Kitchen. Ready for the roost tops?
Oh yeah, we were talking about what the roost challenge. We got to build a roost deck.
The roost
man,
challenge.
Yeah. See if we can win a locals with the roost because I think that card is horrible. They significantly destroyed that card in physical compared to digital.
Trust. I'll get cooking.
All right, I can't wait to see it. But yeah, other than that, we hope to see you in the next episode of this. Other than that, check out some of our other videos, especially if you're new to the game. We have a lot of starting deck lists posted that are relatively meta ready to go. You can put them together, slam them down at locals, and beat up all your friends who didn't get ahead of the curve like you did. So I think, other than that, we'll see you guys later.
See you.